Right now at noon, black boxes recovered in the fatal plane crash that took 67 lives. What new evidence reveals? Plus,
and third, there's a guy with a gun. I need police now.
The moment of bravery when a TriMet bus driver faced an armed man who barricaded himself in the bus. And later, a legacy reading program coming to Oregon. How it's a key step to success for the next generation. Your news at noon starts right now. Thanks for joining us at noon. I'm China Green. In about an hour, the NTSB will give an update on the investigation into the mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and military helicopter. That's expected to begin at 1 o'clock our time. We'll carry that here on KGW and on KGW Plus TV streaming app. But until then, here's NBC's Alice Barr with the latest from D.C.
Another somber day here at Reagan National Airport, where the investigation is ramping up into that tragic mid-air collision. Search crews have committed to recovering all 64 victims from the American Airlines regional passenger jet and all 3 from the U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. They have recovered some critical evidence, including the black box data and audio recorders from the passenger plane. And sources tell NBC News it is a priority to recover the data recorder from the Black Hawk helicopter, in part because that can give exact information on how high the helicopter was flying and whether it was above its designated altitude. NBC News has also confirmed through sources that there is an FAA preliminary report that notes that air traffic controller staffing was not normal during the time of the crash. Normally there is an air traffic controller handling helicopters and another for planes, and apparently at this time those 2 roles had been combined to one. That is something that happens and is considered acceptable under FAA safety guidelines. We're also getting a new look, new angles at the crash through some video that was first aired on CNN, and it's all part of the clues that investigators are working so hard to pull together to give answers to these devastated families as we're learning more about who these victims were, the terrible hit to the U.S. figure skating community, young, talented athletes, their families, their parents, their coaches returning from that premier training camp in Wichita. It's all just compounding the tragedy, the necessity of answers, and of making sure nothing like this ever happens again. Reporting from Reagan National Airport, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Having a weather impact alert day, turning to our weather Timberline Skycam. It looks like people are very happy out there with the way that the weather has turned out. Playing in the snow, learning to snowboard, fall on their face, as I would if I was out there. Rod Hill's been tracking that all day. Are you a snowboarder or a skier? You used to ski, right?
Yeah, I grew up skiing. I mean, I grew up before the snowboard was invented, obviously. All right, on the one hand, it's a winter storm warning, but on the other hand, you just showed people finally enjoying the first fresh snow in nearly 3 weeks that has fallen up on Mount Hood. It's not terribly cold. It's 30 degrees at the lodge. They picked up 4 inches of new snow up there, by the way. I do want to show you, travel is the main concern when these storm warnings go up. And remember, we expected government camp to see a wet mix or maybe just some rain at times today, with the snow level generally holding near to above 4,000 feet. Well, so far, that forecast has been correct. 34 degrees at government camp, mainly wet, some slush on the roadway. Santiam again, mainly wet. Here's Willamette Pass, a little bit more of slush right there, and 34. Snow levels should hold where they are until a front comes in this evening, and then we will have a very rapid drop in snow levels. You can see all the rain that continues to come in off the Pacific, so we will continue to have, and there are heavy rain pockets to be had where you see the bright colors. So there's the rainy look from the Rose City camera. We're at 44. We do expect a little warming surge that could pump us up to about 50 degrees a little bit later today, but for your plans, it's wet more than not, at least into the mid-evening hours of 7 or 8 p.m. More on your weekend forecast and falling snow levels coming up.
Thank you, Rod. President Donald Trump's planned tariffs on Canada, Mexico, China, and other countries are going into effect tomorrow. Goods from China will be subjected to a 10% tariff and 25% for Mexico and Canada. Trump also vowed to create the External Revenue Service, a government body to collect tariffs, duties, and all revenue from foreign sources. The president says the 25% levies are designed to pressure America's two neighbors to do more to stop the flow of undocumented immigrants and fentanyl into the United States. Tomorrow, some Costco employees in several states, including Washington, could be hitting the picket lines. The Teamsters Union represents 18,000 employees nationally. If an agreement isn't reached by tonight, the union says it's prepared to hit the picket lines with 85% of union members voting yes to a strike. If a strike is authorized, it would impact Costco warehouses in Washington, California, New York, and several other states. The union says it wants a fair contract that reflects Costco's success in recent years. The city of Portland has reached a tentative agreement with the union that represents more than 1,000 city employees avoiding a strike. That comes after almost 18 hours at the bargaining table. Portland City Council and the union will vote to ratify the agreement. And another union, meantime, which represents some 200 city workers, still plans to strike next Thursday. But a mediation session is scheduled for Monday, so there is still a chance that the two sides could reach a deal. Fire crews responded to a travel trailer fire in Washougal yesterday that killed at least 2 dogs and a cat. This happened after 5:30 p.m. near Southeast 20th Street and 352nd Avenue. Another dog and cat are still unaccounted for at this time. No humans were hurt.
Northwest Gilson, and third, there's a guy with a gun. I need police now.
Emotionally charged audio paints how intense the situation was on board a TriMet bus earlier this week when an armed man got on board and hijacked it. The hijacking led to a standoff with police that lasted for hours on Wednesday. The passengers were able to escape out of the back of the bus, but police say 33-year-old Hosea Chambers asked the operator to drive the bus around the area. So it took a few more hours before police used a chemical agent to get Chambers off of that bus. We also were able to listen to dispatch audio that details the brave actions by that TriMet driver.
408, secure the bus. Have everybody get down, please.
He's telling me he's coming off the bus. He's standing right beside me. Everybody's getting off my bus out the back door.
Chambers appeared before a judge yesterday and was ordered to stay in jail until his next court appearance. A new survey of voters in the Portland Metro found fewer people think that we are on the wrong track when compared with past years. The Portland Metro Chamber and DHM research heard from 700 people. The biggest issue to them, homelessness. Second, the cost of living. But there is good news. Overall visitation is up over last year. 2/3 of respondents say that they visited downtown at least once in the past month, up from half in 2023.
I think people in general are feeling a lot safer. We had so many families come down during the holidays. The park was transformed into a snow day village. We had snowfalls, we had fire pits, and just hope we keep going up.
Something else the survey noted is voters are hesitant to say yes to additional taxes. Instead, they're willing to trim certain services before paying more. The survey didn't specify which services or how much in taxes.